wabarakatuh. Just a quick live, just a quick Dāwah chat live. Wonder if anyone's online. So yeah, just speaking about a bit of sort of how Dāwah's going nowadays is a bit different than how it used to be in the past. Just used to be quite different. We would generally just give out Quran, or you would just talk about Tawheed, and wasn't really people kind of being Islamophobic. You get that now and then, but people just let us, give Dawah. It wasn't like nowadays you have a lot of Christians trying to come interrupt the Dawah. Trying to interrupt the Dawah and trying to, change, heckle and stuff like that. So it's a lot more different now. Street Dawah was a lot more easy before, in terms of there was no hecklers and stuff. Now I think Christians are really upset that maybe they're not like Christianity has gone down a lot. It's like thousands of people are leaving Christianity every year. So now the preachers nowadays, they have a lot of hatred towards Islam now. So they just start shouting and screaming and doing all these horrible things. So yeah, is anyone watching? So yeah, just trying to use this channel a bit more, even though I'm not doing so much. So yeah, just if you have any questions about Dawah or anything, you can just definitely just write in the comments. Any question that you might have, or you may have, about Dawah or anything, or, that would be great. But yeah, Dawah nowadays is it's a bit more Christians kind of trying to attack Islam, rather than having discussions about things. Those attack Islam. It's a lot of nowadays. Now recently, people have been speaking about niqab and these things. Niqab, and how women shouldn't be wearing niqab, and women shouldn't be allowed to wear niqab in public places. And I don't know how. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother Aryan. How women shouldn't be allowed to cover their faces, and they see it as a public sort of difficulty, or it doesn't fit in with Western values. And we shouldn't. Anyway, khair, barakallahu feek. So how women shouldn't be how women shouldn't be covering their faces. The far right, a lot of the far right anti-Muslim, and also people should respect Islamic views and values as well. Like Muslims are allowed to practice their religion. Muslims should be allowed to practice their religion. Women should be able to, because they're not doing it. The only reason that they're covering their faces is due to Naam, ana Salafi. Women, the reason why they're covering their faces is because they do it out of worship to Allah, and that's the main reason that they're doing it, is because they have the conviction of Islam, they have a conviction in Allah Azza wa Jal, that Allah Azza wa Jal can see them, and Allah Azza wa Jal can hear them, and Allah Azza wa Jal, the Sahabiya, there's a different view if it's wajib or it's mustahab, but it's highly encouraged. If you lived in Arab countries, you have to follow the law there. There are people that went to Arab countries and were found, they were convicted of drug dealing, and they got a very difficult, had a very difficult time in prison. It wasn't a nice place. So if you go to a Muslim country, you have to respect the law in place, which is more. It's going to be more of a Muslim laws in place. It's not going to be, for example, you have to dressing modestly, or there's no alcohol in certain places. So yeah, in the Western, it's a secular, democratic society. So the religious minorities, should be able to practice their religion. One thing I would say, like Sikhs, like Sikhs have a certain Sikhs that reach a certain priesthood, they can carry a knife called a kirpan, and that's their religious right. Now, can someone, for you, can someone legally carry a knife? Would you accept that? You would say, because it's part of their religion to be able to carry a knife, and they're exempt. If the police stops, then you are trying to impinge on religious minorities. So religious minorities are not welcome in your country, then they can't practice their religion. They have to assimilate and lose their religion and their values. And that's not secular liberal democracy. That minorities should be able to practice their religion, and women should be allowed to cover their faces. Walaikum salam wa barakatuh. So, and that's the point. In a real so there's a difference between religious freedom in the West. That's the term that you use, freedom and these things, and generally what happens in society, law in society. So a Jew should be able to practice his religion. A Muslim should be able to practice their religion. A Sikh should be able to practice their religion. A Hindu should be able to practice their religion. Jazakallah khair, Brother Ashki. But when it comes to women, especially Muslim women, I think they're scared of Muslim women covering their faces. It scares people. Why? It's because the truth is that they have a conviction that's unparalleled with anything else. Unparalleled faith and conviction in Allah Azza wa Jal. So people think, wow, how can a woman cover her face and it's 35 degrees and she's covering her face? How can she do that? It's because she's doing it to please Allah Azza wa Jal, and she loves Allah, and her morality is higher than her feeling comfort. So subhanallah, it's amazing, how people, when they follow Islam, they follow it to a T, and they have conviction in our faith. It's just not just pretending, or dipping in, dipping out. Muslims actually follow their religion and they live by it. Um, so people are just, afraid of Muslim women. I don't know how, why. I don't know how a woman covering her face, going to pick up her children in in a primary school, or sitting in a coffee shop, or standing in the bank, um, standing in a bank with her face covered, a woman, which maybe got a child with her. It's not threatening. If you're threatened by women covering their faces, and then it means that you are anti-Islam. You're Islamophobic, because there's nothing to be worried about. You don't. There's no data to say that Muslim women covering their faces are committing crimes. But to link it with something like young people are covering their faces, obviously that's linked with crime and gang violence. So yeah, there's no connection there. But yeah, so if you look at Islam as a whole, if you look at Islam, uh, myself as Muslim countries across the globe. If you look at Islam itself, Islam has no alcohol. Alcohol is killing Western society. People are dying because of alcohol. More than 2,000 people, I think close to 4,000 people, alcoholics, commit suicide every year. But it's still sold openly in society. The NHS is crumbling because of alcohol, but people still drink it. It's a depressant. It makes you depressed, but it's still sold in society. You should ask yourself a question. Why are they still selling alcohol in society when it's killing society? You should ask yourself that question. Living in the West, gambling. Gambling is killing society. The poor get poorer and rich get richer. Why are all the gambling casinos, Ladbrokes, and all these are in poverty-stricken areas? You know, why? It's because it it appeals to those who are poorer, because they don't have money to pay rent or bills, so they end up betting things away in a dream of winning the lottery. They have a dream of having more money. Maybe even people gamble to actually fund their habits of alcohol, drugs. It's quite common in society to people to be on drugs and alcohol and antidepressants, and so the Western world, it does have an issue with gambling and alcohol and drugs, which are interlinked. We Muslims don't drink alcohol because it takes away your reasoning capability. So that's why we don't. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That's why we don't drink alcohol. We don't gamble, because money is something that has value, and it should be spent in the right place. For example, on your family or your children, or given as charity. Sadaqah meaning charity. It shouldn't be spent on alcohol and drugs and lost through gambling. So society does allow certain things that are immoral, and if you reflect over society, especially the Western society, you find that there's a lot of things that are immoral in society, but it's done openly and it's allowed openly, but they don't allow you to reflect over what's happening in society, because they want to control you and brainwash you to think that their standard of morality in the West is better than everywhere around the world. So they have a monopoly. They believe that they are moral, and they have to propagate their moral views on the rest of the world. Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Libya. Let's get rid of Islamic rulership and Muslims, and let's apply a more of a secular liberal viewpoint. Let's force it upon people. So yeah, the truth is that if you look into Islam, for example, zakat, zakat. If you just do your research into zakat and what zakat is, you give 2.5% of your wealth to the poor. You know, specifically, anyone that has a certain amount of money, which is the nisab level, has to give 2.5% of the wealth to charity, and that's an obligation. It's You don't have a choice. So that, and the aim of this, you would give what. So if I have a business of, uh, you know, um, bricks, I give a certain amount of bricks to someone that is in poverty. Someone else gives, certain amount of chickens or a certain amount of whatever they have, and then they can build a house, or they can start their own farming process, or they can, whatever you may, commodity that you have, you give a certain amount, and that would empower that individual to come be high in society, and they'll get to a point where they can give zakat as well, and they can give charity. So it's eradicating poverty, and here's something that everyone has to do in society. Yeah, you find that inflation and these things in the West now, especially in the UK, it's sort of the cost of living, the standard of living. It's getting very, very it's getting very difficult now living in the West. Yeah, a lot of people are going to Dubai, and in these places they're flocking to Dubai and Qatar and places like this. Um, um, Hi, Mutasam, Jafari, sorry, just trying to, yeah. So yes, that was a one question. Yeah, you have a question? You can ask me a question, inshallah. Yes, you can ask a question. Sorry. Yeah. If I have the answer, I'll give you. If I don't, I won't. Just you know, just trying to use my YouTube a bit more. So yeah. Um, so yeah, subhanallah. Islam is a complete way of life. It's um, you know, if your parents died in Gaza, then you make dua for them. They are shuhada, inshallah. May Allah accept them as shuhada. I mean, yeah, welcome to barakatuh. Yeah, I do go on Saturdays, brother, trying to do a bit more dawah. Inshallah, may Allah give us tawfiq. So so the good, if you do good, then that will be upon their scales. If you do sin, then that's, some of the ulama say that the good that you do, that will be attributed to them. But best thing is to give sadaqah. Don't do the sins. Try to avoid sins. Do righteous actions. Try to do umrah on their behalf. Give sadaqah. Put a chair in the masjid. Buy a chair. Put it in the masjid. Build a well. Do good deeds on their behalf. Try to think positive. Inshallah, they'll intercede for you on Yawm al-Qiyamah. So do good on their behalf, and inshallah you meet them in Jannah. Um, inshallah you do istighfar. Inshallah she's Saturday, bro. Barakallahu fi. Yeah, do istighfar. The Prophet said, يقول بني آدم خطأ, that all of son Adam sin, but the best amongst uh, amongst them are those who repent, do istighfar. No, we all sin, akhi. No one is perfect. No one is sinless. We all sin. So we also, you know, astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayk. May Allah forgive us for our sins and our shortcomings. Allah Azza wa Jalla is Ghafoor Rahim. He is the one who loves to forgive. You turn to Allah and Allah will forgive you. We have no doubt on this, but it's called Husnul Dhan Billah. I mean, Husnul Dhan Billah, you have good thoughts about Allah Azza wa Jal. Don't have bad thoughts about Allah. Allah is for Rahim. He doesn't get nothing from punishing you. He loves to forgive you. He loves to give you Jannat al-Firdaus. Just even Prophet said, if you ask for Jannah, ask for al-Firdaus. So yeah. So it's yeah. So if you look at alcohol and these things are killing society. You know. The killing society. Barakallah fi, make dua for me that Allah forgive my shortcomings and my sins and give me tawfiq and ability to give da'wah, to seek knowledge, to do khair and good in this dunya with ikhlas and sincerity and with intention that is only for Allah Azza wa Jal. Yeah, in the West, it's more about, there are parents that say, okay, you're 14, you're 13, you can drink alcohol in our supervision, but it's illegal. But they would allow the kids to drink alcohol. They're 13, 14-year-olds. She's got, the father says to his daughter, if you're gonna have intercourse, just use a condom, because they'd rather monitor it. So yeah, it does occur in the West quite a lot, to be honest. Yeah, subhanallah, it's a lot of immorality happening. So we go by Sharia. We believe in Quran and Sunnah, in line with the Salaf Salihun. If I follow Allah, and if you just look into Islam, just study Islam on a basic level, just open a book on Islam, fiqh of Islam, or just jurisprudence of things, you find that this is just, it cannot, this intricate understanding of morality, it cannot come from a human. You just have to kind of do some research into it, but yeah, it's good to, inshallah, try to give dawah yourselves in living in the West. It's quite important to give dawah. Just speak to your colleagues about Islam. If you don't know intricate details about Islam, you can just talk about Tawheed, make them understand pure monotheism, about the oneness of Allah Azza wa Jal. Just talk to them that Allah is one, Ahad. تقول هو الله هو أحد. Allah is uniquely one. And when we say one, we don't mean 3 or 10 or 15. When we say one, we mean one, literally one. We don't mean 15 or 20. So speak to people about at-Tawheed, and this is the main thing that differentiates us from the disbelievers and the kuffar and those who are against the concept of at-Tawheed. They said Allah is one, and Rububiyyah, one in number. Allah is one in number, as Safi said. All the actions belong to Allah alone. So Allah is alone Khaliq. Allah alone is the one that creates. Allah is the one alone that sustains. Allah is Ar-Razaq alone. No one else can provide for you. He's the one that makes the crops grow. He's the one that makes it rain. He's the one that provides for you is no one else. Allah is alone upon this, Tawheed al-Rububiyyah. Uluhiyya is that, yeah, speak about Rububiyyah. A lot of non-Muslims don't know what Rububiyyah is, they're just drowning in shirk, A lot of people just tell them about that Allah is alone one, that is the main thing, um, you know, is that Allah is one and has no son, has no daughter, has no partners, has no associates. So tell people that Allah is literally one. And the main thing is also I find that a lot of people, they think that Allah is within the creation. Allah is in me, in you, in literally everything. So yeah, tell them that Allah is different, distinct, and separate from the creation. Doesn't enter the creation. It doesn't mix with the creation. And this is quite important in Dāwah as well. A lot of people, they say some odd things about Allah Azza wa Jal that are incorrect. They say that Allah is everywhere, and that's an incorrect belief. This is wrong. You shouldn't say that about Allah Azza wa Jal. You say that Allah Azza wa Jal is He's above the seven heavens. ثم استوى على العرش in Surah Taha, and 7 places in the Quran. So we affirm the istawa of Allah Azza wa Jal. And it's just, it's also it's fitrah based as well. When someone is in desperation, they naturally look upwards and up towards the heaven. Make dua as well. You look up. You don't look to the left and right. You look up to Allah Azza wa Jal. So appealing to people's fitrahs as well. Everyone has a fitrah, and try to, when you're talking to someone in dawah, you're trying to, you're not actually speaking to them, you're actually speaking to their fitrah. You're trying to get their fitrah to kind of like come alive. And you see that in dawah as well, that people's fitrah will just kind of like, you see it kind of like, okay, it's something's happening here, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, by the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal, that something is happening to this person, that this person's, when they think sometimes in doubt, when they're speaking about Allah, they start looking up. Yeah, I believe in something. Something is there. That means the fitrah is still intact. It's still there. I mean, it's a good indication that you can give them da'wah. And the best da'wah, it doesn't matter what anyone says, is a da'wah of tawheed, of la ilaha illallah. Yeah, you are gonna get abuse on the dawah. You are gonna get people. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I'll try my best to answer. You are gonna get people that are, they're gonna hate you. The people of Tawheed are hated. If you're upon the haqq, you'll be hated. If you worship Allah alone, you'll be hated. This is the way of the prophets, and this is the way of the righteous people, is that if you call towards Tawheed and Allah Azza wa Jal, then Shaitan and his allies, they will hate you. And this is something that is this is ma'loom, this is known. So you have to be the essence of da'wah, which is from my experience of da'wah, is to have sabr, patience. In da'wah is something that you have to have. Your intention has to be for Allah alone, to seek His face and to seek His pleasure, and that can change. In the beginning, everyone's intention is to give da'wah for Allah. A lot of people, including myself, when I was guided towards al-Islam and practicing, and the one thing that gave me fruits and gave me the sweetness of Iman was da'wah. And anyone that's done da'wah for a period of time or got involved in da'wah, they would agree that that the sweetness of dawah is something that you have to taste. Once you taste it, then it's really difficult to get away from dawah. It's like, I need to taste the sweetness, the fruits of iman in dawah, and you come across some amazing stories of the way that Allah Azza wa Jal guides people. I had a case of someone, you know, a lady that she got on the wrong train. She goes, I was trying to go somewhere, and subhanallah, she actually got on the wrong train, and she said I wasn't. She kept saying that I wasn't supposed to come here. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. I got on the wrong train, and I was looking for a Quran. I was searching for a Quran online yesterday, and I was gonna order one online, literally. And today I got on the wrong train, and I find myself in front of you. And alhamdulillah, she took a shahada, and she became Muslim, and Allah guides. And it's beautiful how Allah guides people. It boosts your iman. When you give dawah and you see people being guided by Allah Azza wa Jal, first and foremost, it boosts your iman. It makes you feel on top of the world. Like, you feel, subhanallah, that Allah Azza wa Jal is truly Al-Hadi. He's the one that guides. Guidance is not in my hand. There is guidance of me and give you ishara. I can say you to walk this way. Walk that way is the right direction. But you actually walking in that direction and taking those steps, that guidance is from Allah Azza wa Jal, and that is up to Allah. So dawah, it's a very beautiful way of enriching your iman, and the one that speaks about Allah and call towards Allah, who can be better in speech? In Surah Fussilat, Allah Azza wa Jal, speaks about Da'i Allah, the one that is calling towards Allah Azza wa Jal, to Allah. A lot of people, they call towards, online, they're calling towards, materialism, or, some people just sit online and speak rubbish, and thousands of people are just watching it, calling towards batil and falsehood. But the one that's calling towards Allah, there's something, subhanallah, is amazing. It's an amazing thing. So yeah, calling towards Allah and at-Tawheed is something that the prophets did. It's the way of the Anbiya, alayhim salam, and they were the best of mankind. So if you tread upon that path, there's a sweetness, there's a barakah, there is a blessing in your life that you will find by giving da'wah. A barakah and a blessing that you never achieve outside of it. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Barakallah fi honored brother George. His name's Yusuf. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother Mustafa. Barakallah fi. So giving dawah is a sweetness, when I give dawah to some brothers, subhanallah. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother Amir. Barakallah fi, hayakallah. There's such a sweetness in giving dawah. It's unexplainable. And subhanallah, Netherlands. I can speak a little bit of Arabic. May Allah give us tawfiq to learn Arabic. I request you brothers to make dua for me. For Allah give me tawfiq to learn the deen, to give da'wah, to have ikhlas. I see you guys better than me. Subhanallah, barakallahu fikum, hayakum Allah. And please make dua. So yeah, just trying to speak about Dāwah really, and how Dāwah changed my life. Um, how how I was not giving Dāwah. I was someone. Yes, I do read Quran. Yes. Um, how Dāwah changed my life as an individual. Talking to people about Islam, at Tawheed, and these things. It just brings you so much blessing in your life. Yes, in in Arabic. Yes. I would say not to vote. Um, Obviously, there's a difference of view on this, but I would say not to vote. Barakallahu fiqh. Um, it's just if you look, even anyone that gets into politics. I don't want to talk about this topic, but people that get into politics, if you become a politician, you have to affirm LGBTQ and all these things and kufar and these things. You have to, you know, we are people of Tawheed, Quran and Sunnah, Salaf Salihun. Um, it's at the end of the day, it's something that democracy. If you look into democracy and these things, you find is that it's just you know scaremongering. Not everyone can vote about. The thing is that at the end of the day, is that people, this country, look at the UK, for example, right? Just one example, the consensus on the ground is that not to supply weapons to Israel, yeah, not to support Zionism, okay? That's the consensus on the ground, okay? But still in Parliament, they're still supporting a genocide, okay? Regardless of of what you do now, it's becoming anti-immigration. People are, who wasn't in Parliament now. Labour is just a disguise of conservatives. Anyway, politics. I don't want to talk about this thing, but it's a genocide happening in Palestine, and this country is part of it. You know, it's a shocker. Why would you vote for these people, man? Why? Why would you vote? Nothing's gonna change. War in Iraq, same thing. Labour Party went to Tony Blair went to to war in Iraq. So I will say to you not to vote. Allah Ta'ala alam. Um, you know, first and foremost, learn about Sharia, about your own religion. Inshallah, make dua that Allah bring, guide the Muslimin. Yeah, there are parties that are against Zionism and these things, but in reality, it doesn't matter what you say. We can go to the European Union, whatever, and then America would say, you know what, we disagree, and then they'll just override everything. So yeah, secular democracy is just it's a fail. Say human rights, but they're blatantly just giving selling giving weapons to Israel, and they're literally killing children. Why would I vote for these people, man? Why? Why are you gonna vote for these people? Literally, we're living in a society where you know that our tax is used to fund Zionism. Subhanallah, man. It's just shocking, man. Like, Personally, it caused me a lot of pain. Like, Palestine issue caused me a lot of pain. It should cause every Muslim a lot of pain in their heart. A lot of severe pain. The Palestine issue. Um, sh- if it doesn't, then you're a hypocrite. You're just a munafiq. So yeah. Anyway, that's a different issue. That's how we give dawah. I say to you, if you want to bring a change, number one, change yourself. Change yourself for the sake of Allah. If you're not praying salah, pray salah. If you're not growing your beard, grow your beard. If you're doing something haram, stop doing that sin and beg Allah for victory. And we can raise awareness. I've got poetry on my channel. You can talk about it in public. You can raise awareness on social media. I'm not saying just stay silent. you know um, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that make noise. you know I wouldn't advise going to protests because it's intermingling, and it's actually empowering these people in parliament and the government. It's empowering them because this is the essence of democracy. um Boycotting, yes. It's not wajib, it's not fard to boycott. It's not wajib, but you should boycott products as much as you can. But if someone is not boycotting, you cannot say to them that you're an evil person or you're a wrong person. You shouldn't say that to them, because they're choosing not to. But as an individual, if you want to boycott, then boycott. But a lot of people that are boycotting, they don't pray salah, they don't wear hijab, they don't do these things. They just have fixated with boycotting and protesting, but they don't pray salah. If you go to this protest, the majority of the people don't pray salah. They're very liberal and they're secular, and if you know, might be feminists. They believe in the democratic model. If you're talking about Sharia or Islamic law, Islam, they wouldn't accept, for example, you know, uh, something. For example, there is a view that women have to cook. Women, it's an obligation to cook. Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah ta'ala, it brings an evidence where Fatima radiallahu anha went to the Prophet ﷺ and said, give me a slave to give me a servant to help me to cook and do stuff around the house. And the Prophet ﷺ gave her some tasbih. He didn't say get a servant, no, ask your husband to help, ask Ali radiallahu anhu to help. So there's an opinion that there's an obligation on women to cook. But if you have a feminist mindset, if you're a feminist, then you'll say, you know what, I don't want to cook, man, why don't you cook 50-50? That's in the Western society, that's a controversial thing. Women have to cook. It's wajib. There's a view. So you cannot have a liberal. Whatever aligns with Islam, we would accept. Whatever goes against Islam, we would reject. Because our foundation is Quran and Sunnah, Salaf Salihun, and this is what we follow. Barakallahu fikum. So it's best to give da'wah. Living in the West, being a Muslim that's practicing praying salah, praying 5 times a day. You have conviction, you have yaqeen. You go to the masjid. You do these things. You feel confident in your religion. You have some foundation of knowledge. You're seeking knowledge. You should give da'wah. Usul al-Thalatha, it speaks about giving dawah with the knowledge that you have, you know. Um, so, talk to people about Islam, you find that, again, very important. If you give dawah, you have barakah in your life, barakah in your risk. Subhanallah, I, in the past where I've gone dawah, someone's bought, people are so appreciative of you giving dawah, that they buy you some food, some things to eat, and there's so much barakah in that food. There's times where, I've been like, subhanallah, I don't have money to buy coffee, but, oh Allah, bring me some coffee, you make dua. 30 seconds later, someone bring you coffee, someone bring you food, someone bring you croissant. It's amazing, so much barakah in your life. Sometimes, when in the beginning, when I used to give dawah, in the beginning, you just go dawah to get sakina. Like, you stand next to the dawah table, get some like sakina from it. If you have any questions, you can ask. I'll try to answer to the best of my ability, inshallah. Just to get sakina from standing next to the dawah table, it's just amazing, just standing next to the dawah table, and just feeling peace and tranquility. And that was something that I've never experienced before, and yeah, that's something that's just amazing. What I would say, just take your step. The first, in the beginning, when you try to give dawah, the shaitan will attack you left, right. If you want to give dawah, you get so much waswas from shaitan. So much waswas from shaitan saying, don't give dawah, don't call people towards tawheed, don't just stay at home, recite your Quran, do your lesson, don't give dawah. Don't call people towards at-tawheed of la ilaha illallah. Stay at home, have your routine, that's it. Because shaitan will hate you. Shaitan will specifically hate you and have a vendetta against you if you give dawah. Guaranteed 100%. Especially if Allah starts guiding people through you. If Allah starts guiding people through you, and the Prophet said it's like more than 100 camel. Allah, there's a lot of ajr as well, which we'll get to. SubhanAllah. So shaitan will start hating you specifically if you give dawah. Why? It's because you're not keeping Islam to yourself. If you keep Islam to yourself, no problem. Stay at home, drink tea, drink coffee, circular life. That's it. But if you call people to Allah Azza wa Jal, then you will have issues in your life. You'll have, and Allah Azza wa Jal, He placed trials and tribulations. And one thing I would say is that once I started to give dawah, there's many trials and tribulations came my way that were difficulties. Barakallah, mashallah, barak alaik. Mashallah, I watch your videos. It's privileged to have you even, wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh, to have you even on my live or anything. Barakallah fiqh, may Allah reward you for all the dawah that you give, and I love your channel and I love what you do. Please do remember me in your dua when you make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. Please do remember me. My name is Abu Hajar. I'm just a small time person, trying to give some dawah here. So yeah, barakallahu fiqh. May Allah bless you. May Allah give you Jannat al-Firdaus al-A'la, and may Allah forgive our sins and our shortcomings. Barakallahu fiqh. Yeah, it's just lovely to have someone just like you pop into my life. Barakallahu fiqh. Hayakallah. So as Brother Dāwah of Dunya probably would agree with that, when you start giving dawah and people you have effect on the people, and people are accepting Islam, and people are being guided through you, and Allah is using you as a tool for guidance, then the trials and tribulations will come your way. You will have difficulties that will start coming your way, and you will have a test um, of your iman. You know, difficulties in Allah Azza wa Jal says in Surah Baqarah, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. The test that you get, always remember that it's not above your capacity, but is a means for you to get close to Allah. But you may be tested in a way that it's very difficult, because people I would love to give dawah in other countries, that would be amazing. It's lovely to give dawah, just to give dawah in London, UK. Just going to Wales, it's a different country, to be honest. It's amazing to give dawah like that. You know, just speak to different people. London, in London, people are a little bit egotistical and self-centered, and sometimes they just don't want to accept the truth. Once we went to Wales, and then a person gave, we gave dawah there, and there was like, I don't know, about 15 shahadas in a day. I mean, so there was like 15. I think it's 15 shahadas a day, because on that day, because in Wales there's no anti-Islamic rhetoric and Islamophobia as rife as like UK, England. They're a bit more open to it, to receiving dawah. And the funny thing is in Wales, is that many of them don't believe that Jesus is God, because they're close to the fitrah. Wales has a lot of natural scenery, and it's not built up like London. So like a lot of people, they will say, yeah, Jesus can't be God. Just cannot be God. I don't believe, like, the fitrah is still alive. So they said that Jesus cannot be God just by fitrah, because they know the one that brings the day and brings the night is not human. This is something that is like fitri, something that's natural within the human. Just to say that God is a man is just not natural. It's giving dawah in different countries is a good thing to spread the dawah. First is to call towards Tawheed. Do that in any capacity that you can. Just call people towards Islam, your colleagues, friends. Talk to them about Islam. Study your religion, study your deen. Especially التوحيد, توحيد الربوبية, ألوهية, اسم والصفات, عقيدة وسطية, عقيدة تحوية, قواعد المثلى. There's so many. Wallahi, it's so beautiful, man. If you learn about Tawheed, Wallahi is the most beautiful subject, because you're learning about Allah Himself, and Wallahi is just so beautiful, man. May Allah give us all the tawfiq to learn about Allah and who He is and who He's not, and just learning the terminologies, tamtheel, and this is beautiful. We don't do the kayfiyya of Allah Azza wa Jal's attributes, because He's Allah. You cannot know the howness of Allah Azza wa Jal. He's perfect. He's kamil. His attributes are kamil and perfect, and there's no naqs, there's no deficiency in the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal. It's actually quite beautiful. So learn about Islam, learn about Allah. That's the main thing. Dawah, main thing is calling towards Tawheed. That's one thing that I would emphasize on. Yeah, join your local Dawah movement. You can go to try to find a place. There must be someone giving Dawah in your locality, whether that be Netherlands, wherever you are in the world, wherever you are, Netherlands, Spain, Sweden. If there's no Dawah table in your locality, if there's no Dawah table, there's no Dawah happening wherever you may be in the world. You know, whoever you are, if you see that Dawah is not being done, and you think to yourself in your mind and your heart, then this is the opportunity to start Dawah. Start Dawah, set up a table, get some Quran, order some Quran. There's many organizations that can give you free Quran. Set up a table, put some Quran on that table, and just in the beginning, if you don't feel comfortable, just give the Quran. Give the Quran to people, and if they ask you a question, if you don't know the answer, say, I don't know. Give the Quran. Secondly, talk about At-Tawheed, as I've spoken about. At-Tawheed, Allah is one. Allah is not a man. Allah has no lineage. Allah has no parents. Allah has no children. Allah is alone worthy of worship. Ilahukum ilahu wahid, that your Lord is one. Your Lord is one, Allah. And He's not Jesus. He's not Krishna. Yes? And then, just have an honest, open conversation. Try to avoid debates. I know online it's a lot of debates happening and stuff like that, but it has to be done in a very specific way. And the people that do it, they have hikmah and they do it in the right way. But in street dawah is a bit different. You have to try to be as kind as possible. Leave in an amicable way. So just talk about bring some verses there in the Bible. Just learn some verses that can negate the divinity of Jesus. John 17:3 is a very famous one. Stick to that one. John 20:17. Stick to those verses. Just focus on giving the Quran. Anyone have any questions? Anything? If they're struggling with dawah or don't have any confidence, Oh, hi, Hajar Mohammed. Barakallahu feek. Where you from? Where you guys watching from? That's the thing about internet, is amazing. People watching from all around the world. Just keep dawah as much as you can. SubhanAllah, probably going to be on this for another 10 minutes. Does anyone have any question, anything? So, so once you start giving dawah, you get the hang of it, you start to be able to recognize people by the mannerisms or the behaviors or the etiquettes. Okay, this person's sincere. This person, Ahmed. Oh, Abu Hajar. Oh, it's Abu Hajar as well. SubhanAllah. I forgot what I'm saying now. So just keep start up a table in your local area. Find some brothers, or the brothers that are already doing it. Join them. أنا من باكستان. أصلي. Yeah, I used to go Romford before. Try to circulate a little bit. So I might go down there in the future. Yeah, it's a very good place to give dawah. Um, yeah, I think if anyone lives down in that area, you should try to join them. Really, yeah, that's the thing. You're treading on the path of the Anbiya. The prophets were killed. Prophets went through trials and tribulations. Sahaba, look at what the Sahaba went through. Yeah, they went through a lot of trials and tribulations. The prophets and Sahaba. Prophet ﷺ, he was stoned at Taif, until his blessed sandals were filled with blood. Subhanallah. You can't go to our local shopping area and face some Islamophobia. You know, if we don't, the thing is, if we don't face it, then our sisters in the street, they will face it. If we don't show our faces, then they will become more and more confident in their hatred. For me, if I see, I just say, okay, let's talk about it. If someone says, age of Aisha, let's talk about it. If someone, you think about that, sometimes you have to be a bit firm and say, okay, you want to insult my Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, let's take it around the corner and let's see if your hands do yeah, I know what you mean. Subhanallah. Yeah, if you're a revert, then they think you're a traitor and stuff like that. But but may Allah bless you. I have a lot of respect for reverts. Subhanallah. I have reverts in my family as well. So reverts, wallahi, they are gems. Yeah. Subhanallah, may Allah bless you, akhi. Wallahi, you're a gem. You know, Subhanallah. Akhi, come on, man. Wallahi, you don't know your darajat. Only Allah knows your darajat, bro. But yeah, man, have patience, have sabr. The thing about reverts, they go for the trials and tribulations that Sahaba went through. I'm not talking about you, akhi, but in general, that me, I wasn't practicing. I'm Pakistani. I wasn't practicing, and then I started practicing, and then my mom was proud of me. My mom was proud of me, and she goes, "MashaAllah, son, you've done well. I'm proud of you." But for people reverts, especially English reverts, white reverts, the family can disown them, just like Sahaba. Disown them. They cut up their prayer mats. They excommunicate them from their home, from the community. Traitor, you get all of so much hatred. But they don't understand that that Jesus was a Palestinian and he was an Arab too. It's he, it's a Middle Eastern religion, and Christianity is a Middle Eastern religion. Judaism is a Middle Eastern religion, and so is Islam. Obviously, they're all Muslims. Isa alayhi salam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they're all Muslims, obviously. But in the sense, yeah. So, barakallahu fiqh, may Allah bless you, man. May Allah bless you, may Allah increase you. Yeah, I know what you mean. Maybe just give some leaflets and stuff. It depends how you feel. It depends how you feel really. If you don't, feel confident giving dawah, If you don't feel comfortable giving dawah, then maybe just give some leaflets, build up your knowledge, seek knowledge. Yeah, he was a Middle Eastern man. He spoke Aramaic, which is closer to Arabic, which is just it just doesn't make any sense. And they actually worship Jesus, so that's worse. So they're worshiping a Middle Eastern brown man that spoke Arabic and grew his beard. I just don't understand how it's connected to England. عبد الرحمن الأنصاري. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته يا أخي. بارك الله فيك. أهلا وسهلا. مرحبا. Subscribe. Sorry. Yeah, so it's weird. It is a bit strange that people do say that. Yeah. Yeah, it's the thing is that some of the EDF have been brainwashed. It doesn't matter what you say; they're just gonna spew what they've heard and not what they've researched and what they've understood. Independent research, academic research, data. You know, real understanding. It is what is heard, people have heard from Toby Robinson or far right or GB News or anti-Muslim speakers online. Somehow you have to hate Muslims or hate Islam or hate the burqa or hate anything that is associated with Islam. Anything that is associated with Islam, they have to hate it. Halal. Not kosher, they won't say anything. Kosher meat, stay quiet. If it's halal, I'm not going to eat it. It's very strange. Because Muslims do a lot for society. There are Muslim doctors, there are Muslim nurses, Muslim police officers, you've got the care homes, whatever. Muslims are in every part of society. Lawyers, Muslims are in every part of society. It's really strange where they say Islam is not compatible with the West. Well, it's already here. It's already functional. People are just because it's my democratic right to be able to preach my religion, and everyone has the freedom. If you follow your society properly and the values that you have, secular liberal values, if you actually follow it, then 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 you should allow people to preach their religion. Anyone, Sikh, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, anyone, and if someone wants to become Muslim by their own will and their own free choice, let them do so. A lot of people, for example, a lot of people think, I know I'm going on a tangent, but I met a lot of English people that don't drink alcohol. They hate alcohol and they don't drink it. But are they not English anymore? They are against being English. I don't get it. Like, they're pressurized. You can say that certain English individuals are pressurized to drink alcohol. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. They've just been brainwashed, and sometimes when people have been brainwashed, it's hard to communicate with them. It takes a lot of energy and sabr and patience. تحرف بإشارك معكم. I don't speak enough Arabic to do that. Oh, sorry, man. I don't speak that much Arabic to decipher that, man. Inshallah, give us tawfiq. Um, so yeah, it's just, you know, you have to first focus on yourself. Just gain knowledge, seek knowledge. Just keep systematically seeking knowledge. And in your capacity, you can just talk about your story, because they can't stop you from you for talking about yourself and why you accepted Islam. And sometimes that's probably the best way I can give dawah to family and friends that are like anti-Muslim or Islamophobic. You can tell them that, look, I accept Islam number one, da 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 da. There's some evidences, da 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 da. There's some things that I love about Islam, the morality part of it, these things. Tell them why you accept Islam and why you shouldn't listen to these anti-Muslim people. Show them some verses in the Quran. Open up the Quran for them. They might, you know, like, whoa, don't open that, man. Don't open that up. Like the book's gonna explode or something. Allahu alam. But look, just try to introduce me. Look, open the Quran. This is the Quran. Look, um, this is the Quran. Why don't you read a page? Just read one page. Oh, read the first page, please. Just read it, you know. But they might get very defensive, and you know, it's just like kryptonite for them. If you open the Quran or something, it's just kryptonite for them. Like they just have so much hatred. It's just they can't even look at the Quran. You know, if you go to some of my videos, like there's some EDL guys, they're not even. The thing is, they're just normal people that have been brainwashed. It's just so sad. They're not even like they're not even people some gin issue. Yeah. It could be. So a lot of people that are align themselves with the far right, they're just normal people that just been brainwashed. Like I had colleagues that had far right views, and I spoke to them like, I bought them a sandwich. They were like, "Oh, Muslims are kind." That's strange, man. How can Muslims buy non-Muslim things? I thought you hate all of us, man. I thought you want to kill all of us. I thought you want to kill all of us. Why are you gonna buy me a sandwich? And then my colleague was like, "Oh, thanks, man. That's very kind of you." Oh, I said, "Yeah, yeah. Alhamdulillah, it's part of my religion to be kind." And that was my dawah in the beginning, just giving him a sandwich. Then slowly he had some anti-Islamic views, but then had to address them in a nice way, in the open conversation. Just obviously it's quite difficult because, you know, to have this view that Pakistanis and stuff like that, a lot of the far right, they attack Pakistanis quite a lot. I'll never understand why, but but in the end, we really kind of thought about things that I said to him. Inshallah, may Allah guide him. Why do we have to cover their faces, man? Why? Others, so people don't, perverts don't look at them, you know? The thing is, I'll be honest with you, I have a very positive outlook on the English. You know, I see English people as good people, as kind people, and as not as racist people. I don't see English people like that. I never have, and I never will. The EDL and Toby Robinson, they do not represent English people. English people don't have to march in the streets and say the far right do not represent us. They don't have to do that. Why? Because the default position is that English people are not aligned with EDL and are not racist and Islamophobic. They're actually very welcoming and accommodating, and that's the default position. So a lot of people do have questions, but a lot of English people do have questions about Islam. It's just that we don't talk about Islam. That's what I would say, is that we don't give dawah about Islam. There's so many people that became Muslim because someone just actually spoke to them about Islam. They had some views of for what they obviously, if you live in the West and you read the newspaper and all these things, you would naturally have negative views about Islam if you're not a learned person and likes to read and educate themselves, and you just naturally you just sadly you would have a negative viewpoint of Islam because of media bias and all the stuff and politics and all that stuff. You have like four wives, Age of Aisha, and you just have this barrier that will stop you from investigating Islam. Yeah, it's still a hangover of Christianity. England is going away from Christianity more and more, but it's still people still have Christian values of be kind to your neighbor, give charity, and these things. It's still there, but it's starting to evaporate. People are going to census as well. People are becoming more agnostic, so they're becoming more open to kind of people talking to them about religion and their views. So that's a very good time to give dawah as well. So because people are kind of searching for the truth after pandemic as well. After pandemic, people were really searching for something. Being at home, staying at home, and during the pandemic, it opened up a lot of people's minds up to religion and Allah and the Creator. That's why there has been a slight increase in Muslims in the UK. Because Islam just makes sense. If you just do a little bit of research into Islam independently, read the Quran, look at tafsir a little bit, look at fiqh and these things, look at the evidences, you would find it. You'll find the truth. You know, Islam makes a lot of sense. You don't have to do, you don't have to be a very academic person. Yeah. If you haven't subscribe. Trying to use this channel a bit more, inshallah. Barakallahu fikum. So yeah, try to give more dawah. It's a good thing, really. I think it's a need for dawah, especially living in the West. You know, it's a good time to give dawah. If you revert, strengthen yourself, make yourself stronger. Make yourself more knowledgeable so you can answer questions in an intelligent, intellectual way, in a loving way, where you can intellectually articulate Islam to people where they don't think you're stupid and they don't think you're illiterate, like backward person, that you can convey Islam in a way that's absorbable and academic and understandable. It takes a lot of research and understanding and, learning about Islam a little bit. Age of Aisha, if you just read, certain, if you go to like some videos online, you can see how they're giving dawah, kind of take those techniques, kind of use it yourself, answer those questions. Yeah, and think about the reward. There's massive, undescribable reward for giving dawah. There's a lot of reward in it. The Prophet said, if Allah guides someone through you specifically, it's equivalent to 100 camels, 100 red camels. The guy gave me dawah at uni, was leaving food out for me, telling me to finish it off. SubhanAllah, yeah. So even small thing in your capacity, man. Even food, that's how I said, buying your colleagues food, akhlaq, the one thing that really hits home for people is akhlaq, having good manners. Like Prophet Sallam, you know, the Prophet Sallam said the one who has akhlaq, you know, that it is as if he's fasting during the day and praying at night. Khuluqul Azim, the Prophet Sallam had great character. The Prophet Sallam said, if I've come to perfect manners. So yeah, having good akhlaq and manners is like essential. You know, um, it's essential to giving dawah. 10 more minutes and I'm gonna be off. Yeah, so it's very important, inshallah. It's very important to give dawah. Join your local store. If you're at university you have ISOC and these things. Give dawah. Invite speakers to the university. Have dawah stools outside the university. Universities are a very good place to give dawah because people are learning and intellectually geared up. Well, they're supposed to be anyway. But yeah, so give them dawah, set up a stall, give Quran. Start up new initiatives. If you go on my channel, there's like poetry, trying to do different ways to give dawah and stuff. So yeah, try to start something up. Even if it's giving someone a Quran to your colleague. If what I do is that generally, if a colleague leaving, you give them a Quran, give them a gift, like a perfume, attar or something, and then give them. Yeah. Oh, subhanallah. That's a long time ago, 15 years. Oh, likewise. Yeah, stay connected to your local masjid and stuff. MashaAllah. May Allah bless you, akhi. Yeah, so yeah, it's a journey given dawah. You start off with enthusiasm, with a great intention. In the beginning, initially, you have this intention, I want to give dawah, I want to call people to Allah Azza wa Jal, and you got this barakah, and then you have tests and trials. You sometimes you get like, difficult trials when given da'wah. Yeah, taxi is a very good place to give da'wah. Yeah, they got time in their hands. You're driving. You got a 20-minute journey. Maybe. So yeah, have you ever thought about a creator, God? Keep some Quran in your glove compartment. Give them dawah. Have you read the Quran before? Have you? Well, I've actually got a spare one, man. Read it. It's a very good place to give dawah. People when they're on a journey, some people they don't want to talk, but some people actually are quite friendly and having a chat. There's no. I've met on that table. I've met many people that come to the dawah table and like there are many people that actually come to the dawah table and they said to me, who gave me dawah? I said, sorry, who spoke to me about Islam? I said, who? And they said, my taxi driver, my cabbie. That's why I'm interested in the Quran. So it's a very good place to give dawah. Yeah, I would definitely encourage that. Yeah, you never know. They might become Muslim, accept Islam, and you get sadaqah jariyah on Day of Judgment. Stand for Allah Azza wa Jal, and He shows you mountains and mountains of good deeds, and you think, oh, hold on, I didn't do all this. And then you are informed that someone that you give dawah to accepted Islam. And all of this salah and subhanallah, man. That's how big of dawah, the sadaqah jariyah is like amazing. All of the salah, the siyam, the fasting, it would be on your skills, and it would not detract nothing from their skills. Yeah, that was an amazing thing, you know. I don't know, this guy is got some Islamophobic. I don't know, he sounds a bit Islamophobic. Saturdays you go, East London. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Inshallah, there maybe should be some more videos coming up. Make dua for me that Allah gives me tawfiq to give more dawah, gives me knowledge. Yeah, but if you guys have any questions, maybe make sure you make dua for me as well, man. So yeah, give dawah. Even it's to your friends, a lot of people don't give dawah to their friends. It's crazy, man. They got non-Muslim friends, but they just don't give them dawah, and that's just strange, colleagues and stuff. I'm gonna go in 4 minutes because I've been on this for more than an hour. Yeah, just give them some ayat of the Quran, try to just definitely give down your capacity. If you're a revert, then your obviously family is a bit difficult, but just take it step by step. First couple of years is just good manners. I would say be reliable, be on time, be kind. And then yeah. Does anyone have any other question? As the French might say. I'm a bit tired as well. It's getting late. Anybody? So, subhanallah. Yeah, so just there's some videos on my channel. There's like a poetry that I've made, trying to make as many people as possible watch it, because it's my creative thing. It's my new thing that I'm trying to do a bit more and more. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm getting a bit more tired now. I don't know how people do like 24-hour streams. It's crazy, man. So I don't know. I've got 2 more minutes and I'm off. I don't know, me, I just like things like to be on time. Like 28 is just like strange. So 12:30 would be a good time because it's half past. I don't know, because there's something in my head. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Subscribe to my channel. Go CD. I don't know, it's weird, man. Yeah. I don't think I got OCD. I'm a bit of a messy person, to be honest. Right, 1 more minute, guys. Hopefully, subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu wa maghfiratuhu. Subscribe, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and make sure you pray Isha before you go to sleep. Okay? Barakallahu fikum. Hayakumullah. Bye.